Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond. Wanted in 25 states. Not wanted in 25 states.
Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and we are having a catch-up episode today, and we are chatting with the CEO of Victorious PR. She's a TEDx speaker. She's a Wall Street Journal best-selling author. She has a #1 song right now on the iTunes charts, which we're going to talk about at some point in this interview, but she's also been a spectacular individual that I've had the pleasure of doing business with over the last several years, and I'm watching her business totally thrive, and we're going to have a fun catch-up episode here. Thrive Loud listeners, Victoria Kennedy. Victoria, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
It's
always nice being here.
It's always nice. Now, it's real important. I love to say where our guests are coming from, but it'll sound much better when you say where you're a car. Where are you speaking to me from?
I'm actually calling in from Roma.
Roma. She is in Italy, everybody. She's in Italy. She's on vacation or personal. What's this trip for?
It is. We're going to get into it, but I'm actually here for work. But I'm very hesitant to call it work because it has been such a blast.
I know we're going to get to that topic first. I'm going to get to the business side of it first because you've had a heck of since the last time you were on Thrive Loud. You've had a lot of things going on in business, a lot of growth. I even had the opportunity of getting to speak to your amazing colleagues in your company. Why don't you share with the listeners what's going on with Victorious PR and all the things exciting in your world?
Yeah, thanks so much. So Victorious PR has grown exponentially. We actually have 20 full-time employees at this point, which is exciting, 45 clients. We are taking over Europe now. That's why I'm over here. We're definitely expanding to Europe and Dubai, which is really exciting, and just constantly growing in terms of connections, in terms of clients, in terms of how we're seen also in the media as a force to be reckoned with. We were actually voted #1 fastest growing PR agency in the United States by a third-party system, which is really exciting. It was Provoke Media who did all of the numbers and stats of, all the different revenues for all the PR companies in America. And so to be #1 is just really exciting. And I'm helpful, and I'm not helpful. I'm hopeful that the growth continues. And seems to be nonstop.
Victoria, what's it been like for you? Because the listeners who are familiar with you before, you had a totally different career. We're going to tap into this in the back end of the conversation. We're just luring with candy for the later part of our chat. But in being an entrepreneur and running this company, there's lots of bumps and bruises along the way that everybody goes through. And all of a sudden you're like hitting your stride. How have you been handling that as you've been developing and growing the company along the way?
Yeah, so definitely, and we're going to talk about this later too. I'm wearing a lot of hats right now. And if you're a CEO listening to this, I'm sure you can relate. There's a lot of different hats of you're running the company, you're doing the PR side, but you're also the sales manager, but you're also the operations manager, and as you grow more employees, that's just more people answering to you, and you're the end person at the end. At the same time, I'm trying to grow a classical music career again, which is total creativity. But I think, and so you may think, oh, are you stretching yourself too thin? Because there's a lot of books out there about the one thing and focus and all these things. But here's the one thing that I'd like to say to challenge that is when you're in your flow, and I think Mahai, Sixth Sense Mahai talked about this in the book Flow, you're unstoppable. it's just incredible. When you're in flow, there's nothing that you can't do. And I truly feel like I'm in flow right now in my life. I don't feel like I'm going against or I'm like fighting, like, oh, we got to push to make my company a success. Like, no, I just feel like I'm riding this flow. So everything kind of, I don't want to say it's easy because definitely there's a lot on my plate right now, but I'm taking care of it. And I think it's just because like I'm right where I should be in music, I'm right where I should be in business, and I'm just riding the flow, man.
I love it because it takes a certain type of personality to understand that. And I think actually I'm going to ask this question. I want to see if you agree with it. Do you think being an artist and a musician, a singer for that matter, has helped you be a better entrepreneur in running your company?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in the world of PR, you have to be creative. You're constantly coming up with creative ideas of how can we put this person in the media, or what's the cool angle here? Oh my gosh, that's really hot right now. How can we contribute to the conversation? So I really feel like the reason we've grown so quickly is because of my creativity. And a lot of times people think you're either like super good at business or you're really creative, and the two do not talk to each other. But I find the best business owners that are my personal friends are the ones that are so creative in real life. And then in turn, they become so creative in their business. We live in a world now in a time where you can't just do business as usual. You can't have the same business for 30 years anymore. If you don't change with the times and if you don't adapt, which is like the whole topic of my TEDx talk, by the way, like reinvent yourself. But if you don't do that, you're going to be lost. Your business is going to close down. And so it's the creative people that are thriving right now in business. So this is why I say, like, if you're creative, good for you. Start a business. You're going to succeed.
And I couldn't agree more. And you've taken your creativity to a whole new level. And what I like about this, and I'm going to hit the fast forward button a little bit, is that you had to stop what you were doing to get your business going, right?
Yep.
And you focused on driving a PR company, but always had the passion of wanting to maintain and balance the love of what you do. I would argue do better than most people have ever heard in my entire life. So talk to me about, when did you restart the engine as the PR business was going and said, now I want to kind of get back to some of the music stuff I've been wanting to do and wanting to get out there?
Thank you, Lou. And again, it's flow. I'm going to bring it back to flow. And so, you know, I think that's important to say, because if people are listening to this and if there's a passion that you really want to do, because here's the thing, a lot of times in the world, people are always saying, follow your passion. Don't think about the money. No, you got to eat. Think about the money. That's what I did. Right. And I just felt like I'm going to start my music again when the timing is right. And I'm just going to go on the flow, and it felt good to do my business. So I kept doing my business. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I know there's going to be a point when it's going to be the right time, but I'm not going to rush it, because people are going to also try to be like, why aren't you doing your music? Why aren't you doing your whatever is your passion? And you're like, just don't even listen to them. It's not their life. It's yours. Right. And so when you feel like, you know what? It's time, you'll know, not someone else, but you'll know. And then it will be right. Because if you force it, if you try to like make yourself feel bad of you're not living your passion, whatever that means, it's not going to be right. Don't fight the flow. Just go with it. And when it's the right time, it will happen. And that's how I felt with my music, where I had this idea it was going to happen. It was going to happen. But then I got all of these amazing things happen this summer. I got asked to sing at the $1 Million Mastermind for 3,000 people, sing the national anthem. It went super well. I got asked to open Forbes Netherlands, sing at their opening event. I sang that. It went really well. And then my team, my own publicist team, was like, Victoria, we're going to do this for you. I don't even know how they got me to number one. I don't even know how that happened. They took care of that. But, well, I have an incredible team. And so they helped me with that as well. So I just followed the flow.
So listeners, in following the flow, we'll let you know this, that we are recording this on August 5th. And earlier this week, I got to tell you, there's nothing better that when a guest sends you a text with, oh my God, right at the top. Okay, first of all, because today, mostly time when OMG hits your text, you're kind of like going, oh, is something wrong? Is it, what's going on? But when it's spectacular news and they want to share it, it's amazing. And Victoria shared with me at that point that not only is her song number one on the iTunes classical chart in the UK, it's also number 3 in the US. And O mio babino caro. I'm not
Yep.
doing my Italian correct. I'm trying as best as I can. We are going to, by the way, the list for those listening to the audio version of this podcast and the video recap of this afterwards, you will hear that song underneath this episode. It will be playing, and it is truly amazing. Let's talk about the song. What inspired you to do it? When did you record it? What was that whole process like? I like kind of going into the behind the scenes of a number one thing, which, by the way, she's ahead of Ed Sheeran, people. Okay, just think about how cool that is. I just said for one day you're ahead of Ed Sheeran. I thought that was pretty cool. So
That's pretty cool. Yeah. How it happened was I knew I wanted to get back into music, and I write a lot of my own classical crossover music, right? I released a song a couple of years ago that was an original song, and it also went to number one on iTunes, which was amazing. And I thought this time people don't really, I was able to release an original song in the classical field, which is not really done, by the way, because I had a fan base and because people knew who I was. But I figured it's been 2 years since I've even sang publicly at all. Obviously, COVID, the lockdown, and starting my business. But I thought I want to showcase that people can see that I am a classical singer first and foremost. That's where my base is. That's where my training is. So I'm going to release a song that is near and dear to my heart that I've been singing since I was a teenager, and one that everyone knows and loves. If you know opera music, you know this song. So I thought I would really establish myself in the industry as this is who I am, this is what I can do. And then from there, I can now write original music. I can now write and sing whatever I want to because people know what my heart and my base is, which is classical.
And this is a funny story. Listeners, you can go back and listen to the original interview I had with Victoria. Victoria and I had crisscrossed paths. Obviously, due to her PR business, there have been clients of hers that have ended up on Thrive LouD, and she has an unbelievable list of those. We only we cherry pick the top ones because they're just awesome, but most of them are in that level. And I had her on the show, and I did not know that she was as accomplished as she is as an opera singer. So we do the interview, everything's really good. And then afterwards, I then get all the information. In fact, one of my interns says, "Are you an idiot? Do you know who this person is?" And then all of a sudden we started diving down certain rabbit holes and listening to how talented she was. I remembered reaching out to her going, OMG. See, that's why you probably texted it back to me. First of all, congratulations on this. This is unbelievable. And this is awesome. And I know how excited you are. And by the way, how great is it that you're in Rome right now where this song is, and are you going to start performing? You're just going to go out into St. Peter's Square and just start singing?
No, they're going to have to pay me for it first.
Yes, well, obviously. I mean, we're going to we know how you work.
Yeah.
Is there more coming?
Yes. So the music video is dropping next week. And the reason I'm actually in Rome, in Italy, is because I was asked to come out here to cover a private, exclusive Andrea Bocelli event at his home. So he did a concert in his home, which was insane. He's the biggest classical crossover singer in the world. So that's why I came to Italy and why I'm here currently. So there's some articles coming out about that as well, which is really cool. So what's next is more music. What's next is my music video is dropping, and hopefully an album can begin in the works as well pretty soon here.
That's amazing. By the way, are you going to do a joint project with Andrea? Because that would be freaking amazing.
That would be freaking amazing.
See, that's called wishful thinking, and we hope it happens. I want to do something, be quick here, because I know it's late where we're recording where you are, and you got to get out to a nice Italian evening here on the weekend as we're recording this. Victoria, I'm going to ask you two what you're proud of moments. Tell me what you currently are most proud of as it relates to Victoria's PR. And then what you're most proud of as it relates to the ability to follow your passion in music.
Yeah, thank you. I think the thing I'm most proud of for Victoria's PR is that we have won multiple awards in the past 2 years, one of them being the best PR agency in Las Vegas, which is amazing. I'm proud of all of the 5-star reviews that we've gotten. We don't have unhappy clients. We do whatever we can to make them happy. I'm proud that I love my team. Like, honestly, I'm so proud of the culture that my team has. It's awesome. Everyone comes to work and is like, Victoria's PR, excellence, woo! And they're excited and they love it. And the fact that I created economy in the world, I created jobs That's incredible. And if you're a business owner listening to this, I think sometimes we forget that you've made a safe place for people to come to work. You've created something that now they can take care of their children. They can take care of their families. You've created economies that, well, they can start their own business. Hopefully you've empowered them where they can grow in your company as well. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of putting good into this world. And that's, I guess, where it also comes with music is I just want to put goodness into this world and excellence. I want to know at the end of my life that everything I did with excellence, the best I could possibly do, 110%. So be it if you're working with me in terms of PR or if you're listening to me sing, know that every time you're interacting with me, I'm giving you my heart and my all. And I think that has been the key to my success.
I only could imagine as a stage performer how hard it would be to follow Victoria after she performs with how talented she is. But how could I follow everything she just said right there? We have to end on a high note. That was beautifully worded, totally amazing. And I only wish continued success for you. I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of Victoria's PR. I have to say, for those that will hear the ad spot at the top of this show, Victoria's PR does a spectacular job of really connecting the right people to the right audience. And that's a real specialty that they have. So kudos to you and continuing to do that. Any final words? I'm going to ask one wish list here. Cause like we've done the speed round. We've done all the fun stuff, Victoria. You are in my favorite country anywhere in Europe. So I'm going to ask you what has been, since you've been there, the favorite thing that you've eaten, either dessert or meal. I don't care. What's your favorite thing that you've eaten while you've been there?
It's just simple. It's just gelato. There's nothing like Italian gelato on the street. It's hot outside. You get the ice cream and you just feel like you're in a movie. You're in Roman holiday. It's just so wonderful.
Do you have a flavor that you like more than most?
I like I don't know what it's called in English, but it's bocce, which is like Nutella. It's so good.
Everybody check it out. It's Victoria Kennedy. We're going to put all the links for the song for you to hear it. You'll hear it underneath us as we're ending this episode here. And Victoria Kennedy, always a pleasure to have you on Thrive Loud. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And congrats on all this amazing success.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to follow me, please, I'm at the Victoria Kennedy for Instagram. Facebook, Victoria Kennedy, we're victoriaspr.com. But send me a message if you have any questions. I'm always available to help. I'm not just some person in the sky. You can send me a DM. I'm a human being too. So happy to help.
She really is. We will put all the show notes in there. Everybody will get that. They already get all that stuff. They're going to get it because they know it. But now they heard it from you, which gets way more engagement. So that's awesome. Always a pleasure, Victoria. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
To all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.